Friday. Calories and time is an interesting one, but we'll talk about skipping the steps today because we see it a lot, and I'm going to go through the consequences of and what I mean by that. And what I mean by that is the following, right? Start with this, right? Coach Helen for You Fit Studio. So it kind of, this adds on from, I did a live, which a few people have commented on, come back to me about directly, on how you do one thing. So how you do one thing is how you do everything. So let me give you a little bit of a rundown of what I mean by that, a little bit of a recap for those who missed it. So if you are somebody who, hey Layla, by the way, if you're somebody who is likely to cut corners in one thing in life, then you're most likely to do that with other things as well. If you're impatient at work, you are likely to be impatient with your friends and your family. If you tend to be, I don't know, very direct as a person at work, you're probably very direct with your friends and family or your other half as well. You say it as is, right? It was how you do one thing is how you do everything, actually, you know. And that part of what I kind of like delved into in that was you're just becoming aware of it and everything else. Now, skipping steps is, I think, definitely is kind of like a Layla, if already. Don't know. Not sure what that means, Layla. I got distracted by Layla's spelling. I'm lost track now. Yes, it's part of that. It's part of an approach to things. So skipping the steps is definitely how somebody might do one thing. So if I'm putting it into context, if you're somebody who likes to skip the steps of a piece of work, or if you like to skip the steps of, I don't know, like meeting somebody, dating, just like to skip straight to the good stuff, right? That's totally the kind of approach that somebody will take when it comes to food and nutrition. They'll like to skip the steps. Now, if you imagine a set of stairs in your head, the end result, or like the banging size something, or buff, or whatever you want to say, will be that top of the stairs, right? So right at the top of the stairs, like in Rocky moment, is someone's ideal situation when it comes to weight loss, and they want to get there as fast as possible, right? So if you visualize it like that, bear with. Technical issue, it's fine. So imagine your results on top of the stairs and you're at the bottom. What we want to do is get as soon as possible. That means you have to skip steps to get there. There's no other way to do it. To get the result or get there as fast as possible, you're going to have to skip steps, right? That's how someone will see it. There's no other way. You've got to be able to do each of those steps successfully to actually get the result. This is the thing. The steps are important, right? The trouble is with skipping steps, in my experience, and like skipping the basics and trying to go for, we call it the bells and whistles, Sam and I. So you want to like skip the stuff at the bottom of the steps and you want to get to stuff near the top, the fun stuff. You want to get to the complicated exercises and the amazing food plans that make no sense. But when that happens, somebody will always fall backwards. They will always drop down those steps because it's too much of a stretch. So let's go back to that vision of steps, right? And your end result is at the top and you've got like, I don't know, in reality it's probably about 1 billion steps, but let's just keep it simple. There's 5 steps that you need to follow to get to that result, and you're trying to stand at the bottom of the steps and stretch your leggies all the way up 5 steps just to be tiptoeing your little toe on the top of that step. You just want to skip out all the middle bit. It's a stretch. Now, how likely is it that you're going to get your whole foot on anywhere near the top and stabilize yourself to just skip it all and get there? You just can't stretch that far. And it's the same when it comes to a lot of people, when it comes to the skill sets that's required to maintain, establish a healthy body, healthy mind. It is not possible, and I'm just going to downright say it is just damn impossible to do that and try and stretch yourself further than your capacity or your skill set if you're trying to do it as fast as possible, which is skipping the steps, right? They're there for a reason, right? The steps, even the steps are there for a reason. Thing is about them, and if you've ever been this person, you'll know this, and I'm just going to say what it is. Some of those steps are very boring. They are dull, right? Knowing, like, making sure you get your gym kit ready, every time before you go to bed. It's not exciting stuff, right? You know, there's not like fireworks going off or anything like that. Ensuring that 7 days a week you get over 8,000 steps, 10,000 steps, 12,000 steps. Nobody's going to finish that up and right back and go, the most amazing thing I ever did was get 12,000 steps every day. No, it is, I'm going to say it, a lot of this stuff is like, the stuff on these steps is, you know, it's a dull thing. It's not always continual excitement. It's not a fanfare every time you do it every day. They love to get their kit ready. Oh, me too. There's something special, isn't it? Like, ooh, I did that when I was getting my kit ready for Monday. I got it ready. I was excited. Even my underwear was all ready. Not you need to know that, but the whole kit. Moving on swiftly. So, a lot of this stuff though doesn't float everybody's boat, and that's why they want to get over it as fast as possible and or not have to do them just to get there, to get to the end result. Now, we can talk about that in terms of physicality, or you know, actions and habits, but people also do that with food often. So skipping the steps would be not understanding, and I'm going to put this as an I've used it as a we're going to keto again. You may have somebody who will lose a lot of weight by removing carbohydrates and going keto 100% all week long, and that's fantastic and they get a result. However, along the way, because they haven't educated themselves fully, they don't have a full concept of what an actual carbohydrate is in all instances. So you start talking about fruit and some people are like, that's not a carb, it's fruit. It's like, it doesn't have an own category, right? But this is the thing. Often we're trying to find a fast track and we're not educating ourselves along the way because we're overreaching. Right, we're trying to get to that. It's like trying to, I've got a couple of analogies actually. I was enough analogy too quick, right? But you have to start with the basics. Here's a good one. I heard this. And this is so applicable, right? If you're at the beginning of your journey, midway or end, right? It doesn't make a difference, it still applies, right? I'm not going to take credit for this. I can't tell you who it was because I can't remember. However, this is what it says, right? You wouldn't drive a Porsche in a driving lesson. You wouldn't drive a Porsche in a driving lesson. I mean, unless you were uber rich and owned your own instructor, or I don't know, but you wouldn't drive a Porsche. Imagine your first driving lesson. Well, that's like, you wouldn't drive a Porsche. And what we like to do though is overcomplicate things when it comes to losing weight or exercising, and pretty much do the equivalent. You want to drive a Porsche straight off the bat. We want to like, yeah, I'm doing it. When it comes to exercise, I'm doing deadlifts, I'm doing back squats, and you know, I'm lifting heavy weight, but I don't actually know what I'm doing or what part of the body I'm working or how to engage properly. I'm using really overcomplicated food plans. Well, I don't know how to remain consistent because I'm not following my mindset. I'm not having any accountability, etc., etc. I'm not eating slowly, so I'm getting heartburn. You're trying to go for all the good stuff, the Porsche driving. You haven't learned how to drive the Corsa yet. Which is what I learned in. Courses are great, right? So it's something to bear in mind, all right? The steps are there for a reason, guys. If you're not sure what the steps are or what they need to be, that's why you have a coach. That's why you reach out to coaches. Say, I'm not sure, I may need some assistance and education on this. The thing is that one step at a time, and engaging that I've oversimplified it for this, but it's not 5 steps. I want to make that clear. It's definitely not 5 steps. It's probably more like 500, right? In longevity, start to end. I mean, I know, no, I'm not going to spend time doing that, working it out. However, if you think about it, and a couple of you are quite far into your journey that are watching this, if you imagine what you like the first day you picked up the phone and spoke to Bav, and the person got out of bed this morning, how many steps were there to get there? Literally, habit, mindset, behaviour, food and nutrition, education, knowledge. If we don't even get to exercise, and how to do it and how to remain consistent, how to create a routine. Right? Each day is a new step. But each day is a new step and it gets you further towards the outcome that you want, the result that you want, that vision at the top of the steps. The thing is, if you're someone who in life tries to overstretch and not learn and just get to the end result without taking the time to learn each step, that's where you will ultimately always, unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, in my personal opinion, you will always end up at the bottom of the stairs and keep trying to overreach each time. So each try something new, overreach. Get into the basics, get into the stairs, right? Get into the stuff that actually gets you there. It's important. Oh, see, we don't. First steps was walking in the door. Yes, true that. First steps is actually literally, figuratively, literally, actually walking up and saying, I need some help. That's a huge step, but not one that's overreaching past your capacity. Just one that makes you a little bit uncomfortable. Lola's in the Skoda now. I'll always be Fiat. Team Fiat. See a little red Fiat scootering around? That's me. Probably in first gear. I'm one of them. Yeah. But anyway, don't run in a Porsche yet. I don't think I want a Porsche. Me parking a Porsche. Barely park a Fiat. I'm in. That's me coming into Audi car park. Literally, it's not even a joke. Right. So Friday, calories and time. So I'll give you a little bit of an insight now. So calories and time. I'll give you a little hit. Calories don't have a watch. So I know this is life changing for most people. Calories don't wear watches. Oh, a little insight into Friday. Like, join me on Friday, and if you've got any questions about what I drive now, what type of Fiat, or anything related to actually the actual podcast or this episode is in terms of what the steps are and how you get on to that ladder, absolutely message me or message the team, hit us up, and we'll get you going. So I will catch you Friday.